everyone! Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today I have big news. We're moving! Today's video has honestly been a long time coming. I've been living in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania for about 5.5 years now, and my husband Justin has been living here for about 3.5 years. But both of our families live up in Connecticut. When I started this YouTube channel in 2020, I was feeling really homesick and really far from family. I thought this would be the best way to stay connected to family, and it's definitely really helped my homesickness. Over the last few years, we generally would plan to visit family at least once a month, but it still wasn't enough. And then COVID hit, and we saw family even less, and I felt even further away. When I think about having kids in the next few years, I just know I need to be closer to family and have a community of support around me. So for a while now, it's been my goal to move to Connecticut and be closer to family. Justin and I disagreed about the timeline of this move for most of 2020, since I can tend to make emotional decisions and act really quickly on those decisions. But by the end of 2020, we were on the same page. Move home as soon as possible. We've both been applying for jobs for a while, but at first we were only looking at jobs that are a step above what we have now. This hasn't really been working out, and by mid-December, we were both considering just quitting without a job lined up. This is completely out of character for me, since I'm an over-planner, and this is just a leap into the unknown. But I just really felt like it was what I needed to do. We have to give a 2-month notice at our apartment anyway, so I brought up the idea of giving a 2-month notice at both of our jobs and just figuring it out. Justin was totally on board with the idea, but we gave ourselves until December 31st to really make a decision. Again, to make sure it wasn't just an emotional decision or an overreaction to a bad day or a bad week at work for either of us. It's really kind of crazy how we went from wanting to move only once one of us found a job that was an upgrade from what we were doing to wanting to move regardless of employment. But I think that goes to show just how sure we are that this is the right move for us. We gave ourselves about 2 weeks from the middle to end of December to really consider this decision. I crunched the numbers in our budget to figure out how we could cut expenses and pay minimums on our student loan debt, and basically just came up with a number of the bare minimum income we could live off of to get started. I knew we would have to rebuild our lives to some extent once we moved, so I found the number that would be our starting point. And then I figured out what kind of salary we would need to make this work, and this number didn't stress me out. We both looked at the budget and decided we could make it work, whether or not we find our dream jobs right away. We've both worked 2 jobs in the past, and we could do it again if need be. And then, just a few days after we started considering this crazy decision to just put in a 2-month notice and figure it out, we both had the biggest sign that we would be okay financially. So we went for it. We each gave our jobs a 2 months notice, and we told our landlord we'd be moving out. We will finally be moving back home to Connecticut. It still feels a little crazy to me because, again, I'm an over planner, but I have so much peace about this decision, which really is so unlike me. I usually overthink and question myself into insanity, but I have peace that it's all going to work out, even if it doesn't work out in the way that I'd like it to or the way that I imagine it to. I know 2020 was a hard year for everyone, and I'm not the only one who didn't spend Christmas at home with my family, but December was a really difficult month for me. Not only grappling with the fact that I wasn't spending time with family due to COVID, but grappling with the fact that I was still in Pennsylvania, so far from family in Connecticut. Every month that passed in 2020 felt like I was getting further and further away from moving home because I couldn't believe that we hadn't moved already. And it just felt like there was no end in sight and no deadline to when we would move. I'm sitting on the floor in my bathroom, coming to terms with the realization that I'm not going home for Christmas this year. And I know a lot of people are in this same situation. It wasn't supposed to be this way. And I'm so sick of being so far from everyone. I feel stuck here. And every month that passes, I'm just in shock that I'm still here. It's December, and I'm still here. I just don't know when it's gonna end. I'm such an ugly crier. A few days after I filmed this little emotional breakdown, I brought up the idea of moving without a job lined up to Justin, and like I said earlier, we thought about it, got all the signs we needed, and started acting on this decision. And since then, my days have felt so much brighter, knowing that there is a deadline now. We have a moving date after all these months of wanting to move. I am so excited about everything that will come with this move. I can't wait to be closer to family, even if I can't see everyone yet because of COVID. I'll just be so much more at peace knowing that we are all in the same state. So to all my Connecticut friends and family, we're moving home! March 15th, 2021 is the start of the next chapter for the Takeman family, and I'm just so excited. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to my channel so you can follow this journey. Over the next several weeks, we will have some more moving related content, so be sure to click the subscribe button below and the notification bell next to it so that you don't miss a video. I hope you all have an awesome week, and I'll see you next week.